Welcome to the Brian Murray Show, a real estate show, New Jersey style. Today's discussion point this Valentine's Day week is buy your Valentine a house. Forget the chocolates, forget the flowers. Buy her a house or buy him a house. You know, you see these commercials for Lexus, December to remember. I think it's Lexus anyway. Big bow on the fancy car. Think about Valentine's Day as something even better than that. Buy a house. It's a really good time to have those kinds of discussions. You know, if you're really talking about your relationship and what the future holds, or what the marriage holds, or what the potential family holds, this is a great time. Look, you have great low interest rates right now. It's time to start locking in and thinking about either upsizing your house or getting a house and starting to get moving towards that path. Now, if you are a couple that's not married, maybe it's time for a condo. Maybe one of you buys the condo, the other one pays some rent until you get to that point where the commitment becomes from just a kind of a handshake to something more. And then, you know, if you're already married, this would be a great time to really step up your game while you're there with your chocolate and your flowers and your bottle of wine and your overpriced Valentine's Day date out somewhere. Think about buying a house. This is today's discussion point. Today's hot topic. It's the flip side of Valentine's Day. Is Valentine's Day flip side divorce? You know, everybody this week is talking about all the upside of relationships. As I mentioned, flowers and candy and maybe even buying a house. But for those rare moments where things go sideways or wrong, you have to think about what that means when you're divorcing and how it affects your property, specifically maybe your primary home. And how that affects everybody who lives in the home. Now, if you're a couple, maybe without kids, maybe it's a little bit easier because you have certain ability to just walk away and each kind of go your separate ways. But when then you have kids involved, then things become a little bit murkier. But the key is that buying and selling is already an emotional process. If you were just to sell your house because you wanted to sell it and move somewhere else and you were married, it's an emotional thing. You're tied to the feelings of, hey, my house is better than my neighbor's house. It's got the fancy nails inside of it, and so it's worth more. Or, hey, you know, this is where, you know, my family played and my kids played, and I really like it for that. I'm going to miss that. Or, hey, it's just I have friends here, and I'm going to miss them because I'm moving to a different house. Even if it's only a few blocks away, it's like everything won't be exactly the same. So, buying, selling, it's an emotional process already. And when you layer in divorce on it, it's 10x. Everything is emotional times 10. Sometimes the rational decision-making piece of the puzzle goes out the window. Part of the reason what a realtor does is to take a lot of the emotion out of selling the home. Unfortunately, we can't take the emotion out of the divorce, but out of the home piece, that's what we really try to do, no matter whether you're buying or selling in a good situation. It's like we want to keep the eye on the end game, which is really to meet your goals next week, next year, 10 years from now, and not what you're feeling in the moment. So divorce does layer something on top of that because the trust is gone. The trust between the parties is gone, and a lot of times that means the trust to a realtor might be gone. Maybe you have a friend that you both have that you don't want to use the friend because you don't want them in your business. Or, maybe he's closer to one person than the other. But know this, that if the realtor is really your friend, they're your friend and they're going to be your friend 6 months and a year from now, and they have your best interest at heart. If the court picks the realtor really works for the court. Yeah, they work for you, but they work for the court. They're effectuating the outcome the court is telling them to do, and not so much they're not going to be there for you 6 months or a year or 5 years from there. So today's hot topic is really when you're in this situation, to kind of keep your eye on the long game and allow the realtor to take as much emotion out of the process as possible. This has been today's hot topic. The good, the bad, the ugly Valentine's Day special. Hey, big shout out for the good. There's a couple of people in town, I will only use their first names, Jack and Loretta. You might see them walking around town. They walk everywhere around town. They are an older married couple, and they would kill me if I called them an older married couple. So we'll just say they're a married couple that walk everywhere around town. But if you do see them, and you will, they are the nicest people. They are the model for what it means to be married many, many years. It's just great. They're an inspiration to me in terms of, hey, if I could model my relationship on that, at least what I see, that's the way it would be. They do spend a lot of time together. They're super nice. So if you do see them around town, tell them I said hi. So the bad are neighbors that fight. Growing up, I had neighbors that lived across. I lived in a single-family home, and they lived in a three-family home across the way. So there was a garage, there was a driveway, about regular width driveway, and then there was a yard that was about regular width of the driveway, and then their home. And they lived on the third floor, and in the summertime, with the windows open, man, you could hear these folks fight, and it was really kind of comical because they would just go at it. This old couple yelling at each other and battling. But you know, we all live in close quarters here, so if you're gonna fight, maybe go to the quiet room away from your front door with your windows closed, because the neighbors probably don't want to hear about it. They might feel bad when they see you the next time. They might not say anything, but they might think it. And then the ugly. The ugly is beyond fighting. Unfortunately, I've had a neighbor that really was in a tough spot, in a tough situation, and you try to help some folks or give them guidance, and if you do see some neighbors that are struggling, really try to reach out to them. This woman, she definitely had a lot of challenges in her life, and a lot of neighbors really did try to reach out. Unfortunately, she did move at one point, and then several months later, she was actually murdered, and it was a very tragic situation. And a lot of it maybe stemmed from some of the challenges and problems that we saw, but unfortunately, we didn't do enough, or maybe couldn't do enough. But the ugly is if you really do see somebody struggling, because we're all in this together, we're all close, we live close together, we kind of know a little too much about other people's business, but please do reach out, especially during this Valentine's Day period where maybe some folks are a little bit on the emotional side anyway. So that's been the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hey, today's Valentine's Day inspiration is simple. House plus love equals home. That's it. House plus love equals home. Keep that with you. There's a big difference between house hunting and home hunting. This has been the Brian Murray Show. Hopefully you've gotten some great information. If you have, please reach out to my social media. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, at my website, themurraypropertygroup.com, for all of my episodes. And I welcome your feedback. And if there's anything that you disagree with, please reach out to me directly, and I'll show you why you're wrong.